could be this could be important. And then number 5, the single payer conundrum. What's that mean? Well, we're in a big problem. Namely, as we've been building up this 3-4 congresses, 90 co-sponsors, oh, and we got Tom Hines here. Is Tom Hines in the room? The guy that retired Chris Shays? He ought to be here for this, don't you think? Jim Hines. Jim Hines. Conyers asked, where the heck are you, man, today? You should be here. These are the people that want to give you a boost and want you to learn what their ideas are. They've been working on some of this stuff longer than you have. And so, please tell him I sent him a friendly congratulations. Let's get to work. You don't have to wait till you get sworn in to come to be with us this weekend. Now here's the challenge. My good friend Ted Kennedy and this congressman from Montana, Baucus, and a lot of leadership are cooking up a great idea. Oh, and Kennedy's supporting that miserable plan in Massachusetts, which really demeans a great America. He wants to keep the insurance companies and the HMOs in. That's not universal single-payer health care. You know, every time a member introduces something nowadays, it's universal health care. Well, it isn't universal health care. If you create a plan and then say everybody's got to join, and in Massachusetts, if you don't join, you just violated the law. You become a criminal. And besides, if you join, you get a second or third class health insurance anyway. This isn't me. These are the doctors from Massachusetts telling me what's going on there. So they're putting together a plan that is going to take the place of progress. They're saying, oh, this is going to be great. We're going to insure everybody because whether you got any money or not, you're insured, quote unquote, but you're not entitled to anything. Then you're going to get a remittance or some kind of token income to pay for the health care. That system is worse than having nothing at all. That's a good way to get set back a number of years. And you know what gets me in the Congress? These guys all sidle up to me and say, well, no, I'm not on your bill, Conyers, but just between you and me, single payer is the only way to go, but we could never get single payer. What do you mean we can't get single payer? If you're in a democracy and most people want it, which is what the polls show, we should be able to get 676 single payer. What's so complicated about that? It saves money, it covers more people, it's cheaper for those that don't have the money to get it. It makes sense in every way. It deals with prevention, which is a key to getting us all healthy. And so they say, I'm with you, but you can never get it. Well, that's why we're here. I'm from the school of Martin Luther King. They said, King, the civil rights leader said, King, don't go into the South talking about ending segregation. He said, I'm going. And they said, please don't mention nonviolence because you're going to get killed. And King said, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I just came back from India with my wife, and we're struck by Gandhi's theory of nonviolence. And that's what we're going to bring to this movement. I'm with Rosa Parks, who said, they said, lady, go to the back of the bus, and this is going to be big trouble. They had just shot a black soldier in uniform, just come back from war, because he thought it was a joke to go to the back of the bus. They just shot him right on the spot, killed him. And so the bus driver was saying, this is not going to be nice. He said, I am not moving. That's the school I'm from. That's the school you're from. If it's right, the country needs it, most people want it, let's get it. And let's get all these members who want to half step and say they did something, and then we'll hold hearings for a couple of years, what went wrong, and why this and why that. And as you probably know already, most of that is all baloney anyway. So let's make sure that they understand that we are not here to negotiate away the basic principles of a real universal healthcare system. And to me, that's one of the most important points that I have to make. Number 6 was after the celebrations. Well, you know, we're a celebratory people. We like to party. And I admit, I get a thrill every time I see Obama up there with all these old big shots, getting appointments and filling up his cabinet and all that. And especially meeting with George Bush, that was a real hoot, wasn't it? I mean, it's just, it's thrilling. And they were going to have a swearing in January 20th. How many, if I had the tickets, would like to get some tickets to the swearing in? Is that all? About 2/3 of you? Oh, that's pretty reasonable. Well, we're making counterfeit tickets. So, and they're going to be, I got a very good printer. And these are going to look really authentic. And you know how to bogart your way in, a security guard. Okay. He said, what are you looking at, man? That's my ticket. And then some of you, knowing the kind of crowd that comes around this anniversary, you're going to come in with no tickets. And he said, what do I need a ticket for? I elected this guy. Or he's my cousin. There are only 5.2 million people projected to come, so why don't you come anyway? None of you are going to get within 2 miles of him. Let's just close down everything. And then the balls, and the parties, and the gowns, and the this. You know what, how many can Obama go to in one night? And then the parties after that. Matter of fact, I'm having one in my committee for all the overflow and the people who start freezing or can't stand up for X number of hours. You can come on in and party with me. We'll be inside as well. But when all that is over, we've got some serious business. But they have left us in a messed up situation. The idea of Obama adding troops to the Middle East is an abomination to me. We don't want 97,000 more troops. That's what Petraeus wanted. Besides, you know how much that's going to cost? And we weren't even counting the war on the budget. It was all off budget. You know, we spent over $1 trillion easy. And that's one of the questions that Dr. Marcus Raskin, the Institute of Policy Studies, was raising with me as we came down here. He said, unless we get the military budget in shape, we'll have covert action in Iran, we'll have more troops in Afghanistan, we'll be threatening everybody. It'll still be might makes right, and we will be using our military muscle to continue essentially the same kind of policies in some respects that Bush is now. I believe that the next president will close down Guantanamo, but who can figure that out? I mean, you don't have to be an editor of the Law Review and a brilliant intellectual to know that that's got to go. But what are you going to do, Mr. President, about all the rights that we've given up to allow the spying on domestic Americans, the wiretapping? What about that? They made us swallow that and take it. But you're going to get a lot of us saying we want those policies changed. And we want to start in remembering the treaties. Remember, it was Eleanor Roosevelt, the first UN delegate in 1945 that started working. There were only 51 nations in the UN at that time. And they started working on this Declaration of Human Rights. But it was, that was 48. It was in 45, though, that Franklin Roosevelt came out with his, remember, that list of issues that he supported, among which was the right to a job and a living wage. And this was in 45. He died in 45. Yeah, April 45. Health care, a right to a job. He wanted us to be independent industrially. This was far-sighted, and the Declaration of Human Rights incorporated that. And here, come December 10th, we'll be celebrating the 60th anniversary. I think it's so important that we all begin to revisit that important time in history. That's when America was promoting world peace. That's when America was promoting the United Nations. That's when we wanted to believe that through disarmament we would be more safe and more secure. And now we find we're going in a completely wrong direction. And so it's going to take some serious analysis. We're going to have to discuss and debate and review our history to determine where we go in the Congressional Black Caucus, in the Hispanic Caucus, in the Progressive Caucus, in the Asian Pacific Caucus, in the Congress, with the American Civil Liberties Unions, the civil rights organizations, all our lawyer organizations that have been so important. We have a number of clergy that are working with us. We have independent people. We have the intellectual community and the universities. It's a huge challenge. And I'm very glad that you invited me here to pick up that theme. I've looked at the workshops, and I know you've got some very, very important things coming together. But I'm hoping that you will help us pull together these kinds of events in other states, and particularly in Detroit and in Washington, D.C. Thank you for inviting me to this luncheon today. Appreciate it.